All right, here we go. This is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast, where CEOs of mid-sized companies share their insights. It is 6 questions in 9 minutes because top CEOs know how to listen and be concise. So let's get to it. Question number 1, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Nathan Hall. I'm the CEO of Simple Story. We're a video marketing agency that specializes in helping brands tell their story through the power of video. We do both animation and we do live action.
Excellent. Question number 2, what's the best thing about being the CEO?
Yeah, I would say the best thing is just being able to execute on all my ideas. I've always been one to think really big, like zoomed out, but then also zoom in on a lot of the details. So in my past roles, I've always thought outside of where they wanted me to think about. So it's like, oh, we need to restructure the sales organization, or we need to make these product updates. And it's just like, man, we just need you to send out these emails. So, so being in a position now where the things that I'm thinking about are within the realm of the things that I should be thinking about, I think it's just great. There's such alignment there.
Excellent, excellent. Question number 3, I hear from other CEOs that leading your team and being able to see the road ahead can be challenging. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that managing people is one of the toughest things to do. On a macro level, humans exhibit a lot of pattern behavior and move very predictably, but on a micro level, we're very inconsistent. We're very unpredictable, and so we all have independent lives that we're kind of meshing together, and you're trying to plan and always foresee that everyone's going to do exactly what they should when they should do it. But life happens to all of us. And, you want to be able to bring peace and comfort, like during this whole COVID situation, telling them exactly what's going to happen or how we're going to react to this. I want to say with absolute certainty that this is how we're going to win, by doing and executing on these 3 things. But the more people are counting on you, the more that they have families and have people counting on them, it just raises the stakes, and it just makes the weight of all the decisions that you got to make so much heavier. So even, as somebody who is told that I have really good discernment or being able to see around the bend, as those stakes increase, you just wish you had so much more to go off of than just, my intuition.
Again, well said. Question number 4, and as a result of that answer, what piece of insight do you want to share with other CEOs?
Yeah, I'd say in light of all that's going on in the world, around the topics of racism and stuff, you're seeing a lot of companies right now speaking out, trying to show support. And while I do believe there's a lot of, tokenism and FOMO happening, I know that there's a lot of people who are genuinely trying to work and trying to do what's right and trying to better themselves, better their companies. And so I think that that's great. But I want to see more. I don't want people to stop at the public gestures. I think diversity in companies are great. Like, people are trying to fill quotas and things like that. And I think people should hire lots of Black people, but our presence in the room doesn't absolve anybody from doing the work themselves, right? Culture starts at the very top. So if the CEO is not dedicated to genuine inclusion, if they're not acknowledging their unconscious bias, if anti-racism is not a daily practice, and the culture is not going to change. So I want to challenge all the CEOs that are listening to not settle for just optical allyship, for things that are just, on the surface level, but find out how Black people actually feel within your company. What are their actual experiences? Because oftentimes people, I think, mistake the silence that everything is okay. But, there's a long-standing history of just kind of suppressing voices. So it doesn't mean everything is great just because you're not hearing things. So really doing that work to make sure that the people within your walls are in a good position before you bother, making all these grand gestures. Really take care of the people that work with your organization.
Again, well said.
Thank you.
Question number 5. What other successful CEOs like yourself would you like to acknowledge and should be on my podcast?
I appreciate your little growth hack there, getting us to crowdsource your life. I don't know if you can get, well, I'll say there's always a lot of hype around like brash, larger than life CEOs. But I've always really valued the quiet, the thoughtful, the empathetic leaders. So I don't know if you can get them on your show, but one that I always really appreciated from afar was Jeff Weiner, who was the CEO of LinkedIn. And he was always just very vocal about leading with compassion. And I think that that's great. And so we just tried to emphasize that into the culture, and everything that they do was compassion. And so I just think that that's such a powerful thing, especially in today's day and age.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, question number 6, the final question.
Yeah.
How do you celebrate a win?
I would say that that's probably something I'm not really good at. At the company, we've implemented a weekly huddle, and it's a time where everyone says their wins of the week, so personal and work wins of the week. And it's just to help create that pattern of gratefulness. And I've actually started doing it at home with the family. And so just trying to be more mindful, because my mind is just always triggered to like, what's next? Okay, check that off the box, keep moving. So I am working on celebrating more.
Very good. Very good. Nathan, it's been a pleasure having you on. Now, how can people find you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm on LinkedIn. So Nathan Hall. I think it's Mr. Nathan Hall is the handle. I'm on Instagram, Mr. Nathan Hall. Yeah, so those are probably the two best ways that you can find me.
Excellent, and I'm sure they will.
Right.
This is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast. For more insights, go to LinkedIn and search for The Gray Owl Company. Thank you.
Thank you.